Good morning! It's time to make some chocolate chip cookies, but first let's get our ingredients. I like to use the Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookie recipe that's found right on the back of the bag. There are so many variations and so many different ways to make your chocolate chip cookies, but today we're using the original. It calls for 2 1/4 cup of flour. I like to do 2.5 cups of flour. It makes the cookie fluffier. More flour, fluffier cookie, less flour, more dense. Then it says to get 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I put them out in my little bowls to make for easier dumping when it's time to put it all together. You need 2 sticks of butter, softened. I like to leave it out probably 2 or 3 hours before, but if you don't, you can zap it in the microwave for about 15 seconds and get a nice soft butter. Your key ingredients are sugar. You need brown and white, 3/4 cups of each. You need 2 eggs, hold everything together, and don't forget your chocolate chips. It calls for a cup. And it also calls for walnuts. If you like nuts in your chocolate chip, it says about 1 cup chopped nuts of your favorite. I'm sorry, it's 2 cups chocolate chips. So don't forget 2 cups. If you don't like it as chocolate chippy, then you put about 1 cup. If you like a lot of ooey gooiness of chocolate, then you would add 2 cups, just like the recipe says. Now, don't forget a few equipment things you need to make your chocolate cookies. You need some sort of a mixer. This is my KitchenAid, and this is the cookie paddle when making cookie dough. You're also gonna need some cookie sheets, which are behind me, and a cooling rack for your cookies. And I like to scoop my cookie dough in a cookie scooper. So here's my cookie scooper. Let's get started. When you're starting to bake, we need to wash our hands. Everyone wash their hands. And if you have long hair like me, it would be a good idea to put it up in a ponytail. Yeah, so here's my rubber band. Girls joining me today, no one likes hair in their cookies. So take a minute and put the hair away. My kids hate it. All right, for the dry ingredients, you wanna have a separate bowl. So this is 2 1/4 cups flour. I add 1/4 cup extra flour because I like my cookies fluffy. Add into your flour your 1 teaspoon of baking soda and your 1 teaspoon of salt. And you're gonna whisk this together and set it aside. Take your 1 cup softened butter, and we're gonna put it in our mixer. And you might need a spatula for this. Grab a spatula and dump your butter into your mixer. If you're using a handheld mixer, you can put your handheld mixer right where your butter is and start creaming your butter. So my mixer has a little handle here, and I'm gonna turn it on low, and I'm going to cream my butter. That means I want it to get spreadable, okay? So just on low, and try to get it spreadable. You can put it a little bit higher, so it kind of creams it and fluffs it. Okay, now it's time to add our white sugar, our brown sugar, and our vanilla. I forgot to tell you, you've got to have some vanilla in there. So I'm going to dump my sugars into my mixing bowl. One teaspoon vanilla. 1 teaspoon vanilla. All right, put in your white sugar and your brown sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla. I like to eyeball it because sometimes I put in a little extra. Okay, now it's time to add our eggs. Make sure each egg is well beaten. I just dump mine in and make sure it gets into my dough so it can stick together well, okay? So So we're dumping in our 2 eggs into the mixer. And mix. Clean. Make sure they are incorporated into your dough and none of the egg can be seen. Here is the dough after the egg, and you can see how well it's incorporated into the dough. No remnants of an egg, but it's in there. Now it's time for our flour. We're going to add it slowly, like half cup at a time, until it's all incorporated, and then we're going to add the chocolate chips. So slowly incorporate your flour into your dough. Now that your dough is all incorporated with the flour, it's time to add 2 cups of chocolate chips. Or anything else you like in your chocolate chip cookie. This is the part where you want to lick your mixer and your cookie dough is ready. Now it's your cookie sheet time. Take out a cookie sheet and prepare it the way you normally do. My cookie sheet doesn't require any spray or parchment paper. If you do have parchment paper, it makes for an easy cleanup. If your pan is a sticky one, you want to spray it, give it 1 good spray of Pam so your cookies do not stick. You also need either a spoon or a cookie scooper, or you can just use your hands for our cookies. So what I do is I usually just scoop out some cookie and I place it on my cookie sheet pan. And this makes for easy creations of cookies. And they're not very big. So because I have a small cookie scooper. But you can use anything in your house, including your hands. I do take my hands and kind of create a better size bowl, see? And then we're gonna put them in the oven. After the oven, I baked them at 375 for 8 minutes. I let them cool on the cooling rack, transfer them from the cookie sheet to the cooling rack using a frosting utensil. I like how thin it is, so I can go right underneath the cookie sheet and transfer them here. And there you have chocolate chip cookies.